If I'm fixing it, I'm filming it. Well, it's getting pretty cold out here, and I think I need to charge up my battery. It's starting to feel a little weak. So I'm going to, in this video, it's actually going to be a three-part video. I'm going to show you how to charge your vehicle battery. And let's say if that doesn't work and you're in an emergency and you can't start, I'm going to show you how to boost your battery safely. And then while all else fails, I'm going to show you how to, in part 3, remove your battery from your vehicle. But in this first part, I'm going to show you how to use a battery charger. There's a lot of different chargers out there. We have several different battery chargers available on the market. We have like a little battery tender / intelligent charger. We have a normal charger that does 6 volt, 12 volt, and even deep cycle, and I'll show you which one to select. And we even have a big heavy duty one. This one's really good for starting diesel trucks, something that needs a lot of power, but I'll show you how to do that. But again, this is just a bigger version of a battery charger than the previous two that I showed. Okay, well, first thing, go inside your vehicle and find your hood latch. Give it a pull. Let's go up front. Every vehicle is kind of the same. You gotta reach under, flip a lever, and then lift up. And there's our battery. I have my positive post and my negative post. These are called side posts. This is called top post. Most batteries will not have both. I have both just because I have a 9,000 pound winch I can directly hook to my top post. But more than likely, you're going to come across with the side post battery. So first things first is you have a weak battery. Well, there could be a number of reasons why it's weak. One's maybe old age, or you might have a loose terminal. Make sure your terminals are good and tight. Okay, and usually it's an 8mm, or up here it's a 3/8 1/2 inch, depending on what type of a mount you have for your top post. But make sure everything is nice and tight and nice and clean. You can go out there and buy a special, it's in a can, it's a spray, and you spray it on your terminals and it cleans up your terminals. Or you can use good old simple baking soda. That's right. But just baking soda, and you don't have to remove your battery. It's better too, so you don't get your rest of your vehicle dirty, but it won't affect your vehicle or anything. But basically just sprinkle it all on and then take a little water and you'll see it actually eat away any deposits on your battery or your terminals. So baking soda, that's it. And again, use the baking soda that you had in your fridge for 2, 3, 4 months. Don't throw it away. Always keep it to clean up your batteries. Okay, so I have confirmed I've got nice clean posts. I've confirmed that everything is nice and tight. So why don't we hook up my battery charger? And I'll hook up all 3 of them so you can kind of see what the process is. Okay, the first thing is my little battery tender, they call it. Or you can also call it an intelligent battery charger. And a lot of chargers are like that. You just have to hook it up and it'll figure out what it needs to do. So like what we want to do, we want to make sure it's not plugged in. Okay, you want to hook up your battery first. And again, red to red, red to positive. Give it a good wiggle, make sure it's on there good. And then black on negative. Again, give it a good wiggle so you know you have a good contact. Okay? Let's plug everything in and it should do its thing. So it's gone to charge, red. But that's hooking up an intelligent battery charger. Again, let's say you want to disconnect things. Unplug it first. Okay, now you can remove your cables. So before we even hook it up, make sure you select the right thing. Most vehicles are 12 volt. So we want to make sure we are on 12 volt. Okay, we go normal. So this is a normal battery. A deep cycle battery is something that, say, is on your trailer. That's a deep cycle. Or let's say your battery for your trolling motor in your boat. That's a deep cycle. But for this, it is a normal 12 volts, so that's what we want to select as normal. Here, I gotta have to make sure it's on charge, not start. This thing will actually start a vehicle if we have to, but I'll show you that in a later video. For now, we'll just keep it on charge. And then we want to select our settings here. I have 6 volt over here and 12 volt over here, so 12 volt. And I happen to have a couple of settings. I got a 12 amp charge, a 2 amp charge for 12 volt, and then I can move it over here for a 6 volt charge. 6 volt was mainly on older tractors and implements. Okay, so what we can do is we can do a fast charge 12 amp, or we can do a slow charge, trickle charge 2 amp. Why don't we just put it on 2 amp here, just so you can see what's going to happen here. Okay, let's see here. It is unplugged. Remember, don't plug it in until you get your terminals hooked up. There we go. Red here, black here, negative to negative, positive to positive. Make sure they're not touching each other. Make sure they're on really good. Now we can plug it in. And this one you can actually hear it hum a little bit. But there we go. So I have a little needle here that's showing it's charging 2 amps. But there you go. So walk away, let it charge, let it do its thing. Again, before you remove anything, unplug the battery charger. Now you can safely remove your clamps. And again, like an example, if your battery only has the top posts, well, make sure it's on there really good. Give it a good shake. Give it a good turn so you know you've cut through any rust or corrosion. Just make sure nothing is touching each other. Your positive for sure is not touching anything. And then plug her back in, and so it's pretty well the same for the top post as well as the side post. Okay, now we have the bigger charger. This one is a little bit more complicated, but it does the same job, it's just bigger. So here I have my 6 volt and 12 volt, so put it to 12 volt. And here I got some options here. 12 volt 2 amp, that's like a trickle charge. 12 volt 10 amp, that's like a little bit higher charge. 12 volt 40 amp, very high charge. And I can actually start a vehicle with this thing by going here. 12 volt 200 amp, engine start. But I'll show you how to do that in another video. And then your off switch. So we are going to select our trickle charge again. 12 volt 2 amp, I always recommend that. If you charge it fast, you're in a rush. Okay, you can do that, but you have the possibility of boiling your battery. And it's not a good thing to do. And so I recommend the slower you charge the battery, the better it is for your battery. Okay, and then make sure you're 12 volt right here. On this machine, I can actually set a timer. So I can say, okay, charge this for 90 minutes. And you'll see your battery voltage be 12 volt, and then whatever you're charging at, 2 amp or whatever. I can also put it on hold too, so it'll run for 3 hours if I wanted it to. But let's set it for 90 minutes. I would go put this on my battery. Everything looks good. I got the right selection. I plug it in, and away you go. So in part 2, I'm going to show you how to boost your battery in case you're in an emergency parking lot or whatever and your car doesn't start. I'm going to show you several ways of boosting it.